Good evening. You're tuned in to Sports Wrap for today. It is the third day, the fifth day in the month of March 2026. And let me welcome you to Sports Wrap. My name, Dr. Thompson Fontaine, and with me,
Emmanuel Loblack.
All right. And of course, we are missing tonight. We are missing Mr. Rocket Sebastian, who is away, but he will be back next week. So, to all the sports lovers across the country and overseas, wherever you might be at this time, welcome to Sports Wrap. And to begin, as always, we are going to do a little bit of inspiration as we begin.
Like a river attended my way.
Aren't we praying first?
See billows roll.
Dr. Fontaine.
Whatever alone thou hast taught me to say it is well. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. No Satan should.
All right, welcome back to Sports Wrap. We have a packed program for you tonight. Of course, we will be talking about chess. We'll have our guests in studio. We also have local football, and we'll also be looking at the Kalinago Cricket League. And of course, a lot of discussion on the T20. Let me, Lobby, apologize for the prayer. I'll tell you, I had a very unfortunate incident this afternoon. I was out in the bush, and my phone, I had the prayer. I got a prayer from Pastor Rodney. So let me just apologize to Pastor Rodney. I got the prayer that was sent to my phone, but I lost my phone. And for some, I was rushing to get down here to town, and I must have rested the phone on my vehicle when I was getting into the car, and it stayed on the vehicle. And but a few minutes ago, I called it, and a very good gentleman from the Kalinago territory, Mr. Anwar, he says, I just found this phone on the road. And so I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Anwar. I know it is safe in the Kalinago territory, so I'll get it tomorrow. And so we were not able to play the prayer. So I just wanted to say that's what happened with regards to the prayer. And so that's it. That is it. But Lobby, when you lose your phone, that's the biggest. I mean, I can't tell you how anxious I was in these last few minutes. Not seeing the phone and not knowing where I could have left it, and just the horror of thinking that this phone may be lost and forever. So thankfully, this Good Samaritan returned it, or is returning it to me tomorrow.
Dr. Fontaine.
Yes.
Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes. I heard this afternoon. I heard about this voting, and that's why I want to ask you that is it? Did I hear that you need a your birth paper plus an ID?
Yes,
What
the no, it's the is the birth paper with the picture, the
with the picture?
picture ID. Yes, yes. It's not another form of ID.
Okay,
It's a photo ID, a
a photo
photo
ID.
ID.
Okay, that is good.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, I mean, for months, Emmanuel, we were talking about that. I
Oh yeah,
mean, you know,
oh
we have been calling for that. We have been begging. We have been pleading. You know, to get that done. And then the prime minister spoke, and it was done. You
no,
know,
but
I mean,
is what is in what is it is interesting here. That is the hypocrisy behind that, Dr. Funk.
yeah.
The
Hmm.
hypocrisy from day one. You were trying to disenfranchise people. That was sin within
Yes, it was so obvious. You know,
that was,
it was so very obvious.
and I mean to say, look, when I heard about yes, Greg Nassif spoke, but everybody you all have been talking. You have been totally against that. All right? Totally, but
Yes, yes, and you know, but they were having obviously they were having difficulties because people would not coming forward to confirm. So it means that a very large number of the population do not have those types of IDs, a passport, social security number, or driver's license. And in some cases, for the social security, if you did not have an expiry date, you had to go for a new one,
I,
and people were told that they were owing thousands, that they needed to pay the thousands before they got access to the social security. So it was a big mess,
I
and
totally
it's something that we've been talking about. You know, why? I mean, after all, the birth certificate is what is used for registration in the first instance. So why is it not good enough to confirm that you are the person?
but you say divine intervention. Imagine there was divine intervention to maintain sanity in this country. There are a lot of, moving from this, Dr. Fontaine, we're looking at the fire in Roseau
Yes.
and the fire in Roseau. And we saw a lot, and what we saw happen is nothing new. All right, to add insult to injury, here at the end after the fire, you're going to donate 2 fire trucks.
But those fire trucks were already in Dominica, right?
Yes, all right.
Yeah.
And based on what I am hearing, if those trucks were there already, all right, many of these buildings would have been saved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They seem to be quite big, and I'm guessing that they take a lot of
Yeah. Have position one in,
yeah.
in different areas. Don't forget if the
Mhm.
fire spread, from go all across the road, all across. Up on
Yeah, I mean it's a disaster. It's like a scar on the town
Of course, man.
if you
It's an
go by
eyesore.
and I mean
So,
I'm sure you study photos, you know,
yeah, man. It's
but
an
it's even worse, you know, when you see it up front. It is
some-
really
something
yeah.
else. What we have, I could recall 9/11. Remember 9/11 and
Yes. Mhm.
and the effects of the toxic waste on the responders. I am concerned about the firefighters who were exposed to this toxic thing during that fire. I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, I'm told that some people even reported to the hospital for smoke inhalation
But
issues as well.
but
Yeah.
all this chemical, this toxic things, not know, there's long-term effects. You have long-term effects because you have to equip. And I know, look, I've been in the service, you have been around, and I know that these people have been up, the firemen is nothing new, they have been appealing. And this fire in Rose is nothing new. We have here,
Mhm.
Rosa.
Emmanuel, hold on. We have a caller, so let's take this caller. Good evening, caller.
I'm just saying good night. Low Black doesn't be able to take his time. Oh, you all still don't pray,
Yes,
or you didn't pray?
we explained
Thank
why.
you.
Okay, so you missed it. We explained why there was no prayer. The prayer is on my phone that got lost this afternoon, so that's why there was no prayer. Yeah, so apologies for that. Yeah, so we just substituted a song, and we hope that that was enough going forward. Yes.
Yes, yes. The thing is that what I saw during the fire itself, again, you saw hoses have been they have been leaked, water not that powerful. It was just a total I mean, so the same thing will happen again. You have to equip. In 2025, we sold 55,000 passports. 55. You have passport. You have people who are selling passports. They live in a copulent lifestyle right now.
Mhm. You know, but Emmanuel, you have to compliment the firefighters, eh?
Yes, they work on.
Given the you know the equipment that they have at their disposal, and they were able to save. I mean, the billions literally one on top of the other. The fact that they were able to save the billions they did, I think is quite notable. We have another caller, so let's take this caller. We'll come back to you. Good evening, caller.
All right, good evening, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, good evening.
Black, and good evening, Sibu, where you are. Dr. Fontaine, when you start this sports program, I'll call back. I want to ask a question on some cricket story. So when you officially start this sports program, I'll call back.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Have a good night. We'll wait to hear from you. All right, let's go back to the telephone. Another caller. Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening. Yes, good evening to you, Dr. Fontaine, and good evening to Emmanuel Lobak and Ibo, wherever he is.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing? How are you?
No, not bad. I'm on my way. Thank you for the time being. Right. Now, Dr. Fontaine, I have an idea for the government. With those people we're getting from overseas, you know, the American population in down. I believe we do not have to worry about housing them at all. It's so simple. It's funny. There are so many thousands of people who voted Labour Party. They can put one in certain house with people in those houses and pay people for food and water and everything. You know, put them in the houses because they love Roosevelt Terrace. Put them in the people's houses. And then that's how easy, simple I see it. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, caller. You know, but a big question, Emmanuel. You know, we heard the numbers 7 every quarter, or minimum, or at a maximum of 7 every quarter. The question though is who carries the bill for these individuals, and what do they do? I mean, do you just come and you stay in a house? Do you? I mean, how is it supposed to work? Do you get a passport? Are you able to? Do you get a work permit? Are you able to look for work in Dominica? Obviously, there is none, but at least do the people come in? Do they have that option? And probably the biggest question is, who are these individuals? Are they criminals? You know, I mean, that is, you know, will they be able to assimilate? Will they be able to be part of what's going on here in Dominica? Let's go back to the telephones. Good evening, caller.
Hey, good night, Dr. Good night, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, good night.
This is Bernard Moore, Mother.
Yes, wonderful. Good night.
I'm not straying from the point. I just want to make a point clear. I'm not straying from the point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm fearful for my life. I am fearful for my life because I don't know if it's Capitol and that's sending that Gage fella at me.
No, I mean no, but yeah, please. I mean, if you have a concern about your security, I think the best thing to do is to report it to the police. But I don't think it's fair to the individuals whose names that you just called. I mean, you know. So I would really urge you. You know, if you have a concern, you know, please go to the police. You know, with it. I think that's the best way.
Definitely.
You know, calling on the radio is not going to, you know, and we don't want to, you know, we don't want to get into trouble here on the station.
I'll address it to the police because I was driving through Roseau, me, my wife, and my daughter, and Mr. just stopped his bike in front of me, and I tell him what the F, what you doing, and my brother, since after that, every time Mr. meet me, Mr. tell me you have a hatchet, you want to open my chest.
Well, no, but that, I mean, yeah, I mean, if this threat has been made towards you, I think, yeah, as I said, I think you should take it to the police. I think that's the best way to handle it.
But I am just letting the world know that I'm threatened by Mr.
Okay.
I'm letting the world know I'm threatened by Mr. And I take it to the police. I'm going to take it to the court. And anytime you see Mr. advance on me again.
No, but again, let's not go there. I mean, if somebody threatens you, the right thing, you're doing the right thing. You report it to the police, and that is what I mean. It does not help to make any threats, you know, on the air either. Yeah, thanks.
Tell me you'll open my chest and you'll open my chest and you'll open my chest.
Right, nice, thanks.
Yes, I'm very sorry to hear that, but okay, but thanks a lot. Thanks for calling, though. Yes.
Let us face it. I heard if you were the prime minister in this situation, what sort of questions would you ask? Would first of all, any document, before you sign any document, don't you have to read it first?
Yes, but did he say how much he was getting for it? I know some countries have been upfront. They've said that they're getting 10 million. Some countries getting 15 million, 7 million. How much is Dominica getting?
I mean, everything. I mean, look, you listen to it was very, very vague. There was there's nothing concrete. First of all, if I was the prime minister, I'm telling you from my side, and I'm in this situation. First of all, I want to know the background of this people. What kind of crimes they have committed in the US? You have to know exact. Diabasak. Or people are saying Diabasak. You have to know the caliber of people that are coming into your country. Don't you?
Yeah, and you should. I mean, my main concern, Emmanuel, is how do you we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the police, the security apparatus in case these people are threats. We don't, just in case they are.
Yeah,
It's talking hold on 1 minute, Emmanuel. We'll come back to you. Let's go to the telephone.
Fontaine,
Yes, good.
I want to ask my question about the cricket now, because there is in the course of the week, I can remember which school made 10 runs. You heard that, Dr. Fontaine?
No, I did not.
I think some school made 10 runs.
Secondary or
I
primary?
wanted to ask you, the other school they won by an innings and 100 and something runs, right? So I was trying to find out how that happened, because if one school scored 10 runs,
they only batted once. They only batted once.
Excuse me?
The school that made 10 runs, they only batted one time.
I don't know. That's what I wanted to ask you, because I heard the school scored 10, right? And the other school won. I can remember this school. They had their thing going on. They won by 100 and something runs and an innings. So I was wondering if one school scored 10, if they didn't declare how that happened, that
they got 2 for 1.
And by an innings and 100 and something.
Well, the only way that could happen is if the team that scored 10 also scored runs in the order. They must have batted twice.
Obviously.
So the team that won would have scored probably 200 and something runs.
Obviously.
And then that team batting first, they scored 10, they were put in and they scored more, but it was not enough to meet the score. So that's how they will get the innings and 100 and something runs.
Okay, but they said that during the week, I think 2 schools had there. I can't remember the name of these schools, huh?
Yes, so it had to be that the school batted twice. Yes, absolutely. But probably they did not give the score.
Because I find that it's a big amount, 1 something, and you still 1 something and a whole innings.
Yes. So that could have happened that way.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the telephone. Good evening, caller.
Good evening to you, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes,
good evening to Lobby.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, Lobby. I'm doing fine. And Sibo, wherever you are, good evening to you. First, I would like to, I heard you were talking about confirmation. Have they agreed to use the birth certificate?
Yes.
Oh, so you can just go and confirm with your birth certificate and a witness now?
And a picture ID.
And an idea. Picture ID. Good.
ID.
Now about the firemen and the fire service, kudos to the firemen for a job well done with the kind of equipment they have. But Dr. Fontaine, that's the way dictators behave. Lobby talk about 50,000 passports or so. That's the way they behave. They believe the country belongs to them, and the resources of the country should be used for they and their family and their very close associates. So they don't care if the hospital is not equipped, if their fire station, their police and whatever is not equipped. They will just give the populace a little thing, just a little thing to keep them satisfied, and everything belongs to them. That is how they behave in this day and age. Yep. The fire station is about less than 5 minutes drive from where the fire occurred, and all that damage took place because the firemen are not properly equipped. Um, Dominicans, what we have to do, we have to take back our country. Dominicans, get ready to take back our country. Go and confirm a mass so that whenever the election is called, we can throw out that scary administration that have had their necks in our foot like an albatross. Good evening, gentlemen.
All right. Good evening. Thank you. Let's go back to the telephones as we round up here this evening. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Thompson Foxy. Good evening, Ruby.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. The game that our friend is talking about there, our well-known listener, it's two primary school who played, and one of the team bat first, the school bat first, scored 70, and they said the other to bat they scored 10, so they send them back again. And I think it's something like that happened.
Yes.
The first team that bat scored 70, and they said the other team that bat, but they only scored 10, so they send them back again. It was the news that come out on DBS in DBS Sports.
All right.
Maybe you can research it. You can get it to say. All
Okay.
right, man. Good night.
Thanks, caller. All right, let's take the final caller, Mano. Our guest is already
I have one
in
point to
studio,
make.
so let's take this
Yeah.
final caller. Caller, good evening.
Yes, Dr. Fountain. It looks like what is crossing the wires now is Great Britain has put sanctions on St. Lucia. They have to use visa to go to Great Britain again.
Oh
Now,
yes,
right now,
oh yes, that is correct. Yeah, that is correct. Saint Vincent, Saint Lucia is now like Dominica. They will not require visas to go enter the United Kingdom. Yes, caller. Good evening.
Yes, Dr. Fountain, I just want to correct the caller before the last. If the team scores 70, they cannot win by over 100 runs. So the explanation you give, Dr. Fountain, is more likely. This team
Yes.
scored 10, they go, let us say they score 160, and then they bowl out the team for 40. So they win by an inning and over 100 runs. They cannot score 70 caller. They cannot score
Yeah,
70. That's just
it might have
much
been
more than
170. It could have been 170 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly, if they won by over 100 runs, they had to have scored more than 100. Yeah.
More than 100, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we are going to take our Emmanuel. You said you wanted to say something quickly before we take our
Yes,
first break.
quickly. You said something there that raised an eyebrow. You said some countries receive for the immigrants 15 million, 10 million.
Yes, I am one of these Pacific countries. I think it's Vanuatu, Fiji. Fiji received 15 million, or they were promised 15 million dollars.
So there's a secret of what we are going to receive.
Well,
Everything is a secret.
Well, that is a good question, because I mean, if the US is not subsidizing the government, if they're not subsidizing the government, it means that the money is coming from the US government, right? So, or from our government. So the question I think the Prime Minister should make clear is whether or not these individuals are coming there at the expense of the people of Dominica, or whether or not it's been paid for by the US government. So that is something that certainly needs clarification. All right. Okay. So let's take our first break, and when we come back, we will be talking to the president of the Chess Association. A very exciting tournament that took place this past weekend. He will be telling us all about it. All right. So let's take this first break there, and then we'll get into it. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to Sports Wrap, and we are joined in studio by Mr. Carlton Morvan, who is the president of the Dominica Chess Federation. It's good to have you with us, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. And the last time we spoke, you were organizing a very exciting tournament. I recall that was going to take place at this restaurant right there on the riverfront, and you're here to tell us about it. How did that go?
Yes, so let me just say, as always, let me say, as always, it's good to be here on Sports Wrap, talking about chess. I love to talk about chess and what we're doing. Yeah, so over the weekend we had a fundraiser tournament. We call it the Blitz Arena. It was just 3 hours of just playing chess. As long as there's a table available for you to play, you just play chess. If you lose your game, you get up, the winner remains seated, and then somebody else come and play. You know, we had a decent turnout, and ultimately we had the top 3 players, who are myself, candidate master Nigel Francis, and our current national champion Larry Thomas. These were the top 3. Then we had some outstanding performances by a young student from the Dominica Grammar School, Elijah Peter, and we had an 8-year-old player. He's just 8 years, He recently moved to Dominica. He's French, so he mostly speaks French, But he plays chess, and at 8 years, he was able to win a couple of games. So, that was great to see. And we had one female player who sometimes she's kind of shy to play, but she beat me and she beat a
Okay.
couple of the other guys,
Okay.
So she got a couple of wins as well. So,
Alright.
overall, it was a good night. We enjoyed the tournament, the atmosphere. It was at New West Bridge Grill Restaurant and Bar. That is the restaurant owned by our Vice President Edgar Berridge. On Saturday, we had a tournament for rookies. People who are more novice to chess. So they play, but they don't really play competitive, and they're not so versed on all the opening lines and strategies and so on. So we wanted to put them in an environment where they can feel, okay, let me test my skills, but I don't have to worry about all these monster players. It would be like me going and sit down in a tournament with the world champion and all those guys who normally compete with him. So we kind of put them in around their level so that they could play. The turnout was less than expected, but we still had some good matches played. Mr. Mervan Johnson, he won the tournament. It was a close call between he and the second place, Anthony Edwards. They really battled it out, man. It came down to a tie-breaking match, but Mervan ended up winning. So, that was really encouraging to see. And we're looking to do something else like that again for players that, don't feel that they can compete with us as yet, but, they want to play.
All right. So you had two very successful activities here in the capital. Now I noticed that for the time being, most of your competition is centered around Roseau. All right. Any thought to probably go into some of the other places around the island, probably with the same, to see to gauge the interest, or any thoughts of that?
So, while you can say that yes, the tournament usually happen in the Roseau vicinity, is just that, but we have players coming from all over the island to come to play. We actually have started trying to engage enough of the island, because we know chess used to be active up in Portsmouth before. Not sure what happened, or where the players went. Actually, our former champion, or former national champion for 2024, Mr. Robert Breedy, he is from the Portsmouth area. So, he told us he used to play chess since he was young, and there used to be guys playing up there. So we're trying to get that going again. And as a matter of fact, on the 14th of March, we're going to be back in Portsmouth, trying to have an activity there again. Last year we did it sometime around September, and there was a good turnout. We found some little children who play chess, and currently we don't really have an active primary school program, but we have 40 high school students, and some of the students supposed to be entering the Portsmouth Secondary School and maybe other schools. So we're looking forward to being able to work with them, on those levels there. We'll be back in Portsmouth, like I said, on the 14th of March from about 12 p.m. Maybe looking to stay up there until about 5 p.m. and see what we can get going. We are trying to get someone on that side who is willing to take the responsibility of having organized chess where people meet regularly up there to play and, to demonstrate their skills, practice, get better, and then we can go down. So then we wouldn't necessarily have to organize a move to go Portsmouth. We can just say, well, you know what? I know chess play in Portsmouth. Let me just go down Portsmouth and play some chess, if you feel like it. And I'm looking forward to the day when I can just do it. I can just say, yo, I just go and catch a bus, go Portsmouth, play some chess, come back home. Simple as that.
Yes, that's good. That's good. So Portsmouth is where you're aiming for currently. This is good. Now, before Emmanuel comes on, I just wanted to ask as well in terms of you said you have the activity that's on the 14th of March. Anything else coming up within this quarter?
So right. So on the 7th, which is this Saturday, we're going to be at the Botanical Gardens playing chess in the gardens. It's going to be sort of like photo ops. We're going to go around. There are certain areas the tourists go to see when they come to gardens. Like the tree that fell on the school bus. When they see the bamboos and other little areas that they would go to. So we're going to go there, play some chess, take some pictures. Showcase Dominica's nature, and that is our first activity under our new.
Marketing strategy,
right? The chess in nature, right? So that's a plan that we have.
It will be broadcast.
Yeah, we're going to
live on the internet.
This one might not necessarily be live, but we're going to take pictures and share on our Facebook page, Instagram. Share with the community, ask people to share. People will have their phones. You take your pictures on your phone. You can share that as well. We're going to just let people know. Just playing in Nature Island and look at how beautiful the Nature Island is. Come and to somewhere like that you can play chess. And one of the things that really got me is when I went to Colombia to meet him, and I met the president of the Puerto Rico Chess Federation. He said he was in Dominica like 10 years ago, and he was looking for some way to play chess with. But at the time we didn't have a federation.
Right.
He couldn't find any way to play chess with. I tell him, well, if you come back this time, Yes. So I want to see if we can get other tourists that might want to play chess.
Yes, I'm sure there will be others who have that interest. I mean, even me, I'm not a chess player, but I remember when I used to be working in Washington D.C., I used to from where I used to work at the IMF. It was just about 2 blocks to the White House, and there is a park just opposite the White House there where they have those benches and the chess, and people come and play. And I would just, on my lunch break, I would just take a casual walk there and just watch the guys play. People would come, stand around, and people would play, and people would come from the crowd and play, and that kind of thing. So I think that's a good way of gaining the interest, getting people, people who are just passing by can come and look at it and try to gain something from it. So that's a great idea.
And then we also have one of our biggest events coming up, which is our national tournament. The qualifiers will be on the 21st and 28th of March. So the 21st will be for the women's, and the 28th will be for what we call the absolutes, where both men and women can play. And in April, on the 11th of April, we'll have our national championship, both men and women, and that will run for 2 weekends. So we're looking forward to holding those events. The registration form is going to go up soon, so everybody look out for this form, look out for that form, register, make sure you participate.
And the form will be on your Facebook page, right?
On the Facebook page, we share it we have a WhatsApp group, we share it in the WhatsApp group, I share it on my status, we share it everywhere.
So your Facebook page is just Chess Federation,
yes,
Dominica Chess
Federation. That's the Facebook page. Yes.
Okay.
Manuel?
Yes. Congratulations for your activity over the
Yes,
weekend.
yeah. Thank you, sir.
Now, yes, you made mention of an 8-year-old French boy, right? 8-year-old.
Sir, yes. Yes.
Yeah, it just shows us, in these countries, how the schools have been integrated, the depth of their curriculum, right? And what you made mention of in Colombia, you met this who you met in Colombia?
The president of the Puerto Rico Chess Federation.
Okay, yes. So my advice to you is this: the tourist board, you can inform them that we have an active chess federation in Dominica. So somebody when the boat dock in port, so that could be on the itinerary. That could be on the manifest. Whoever wants to play chess, you have an active chess federation board in Dominica, and getting your numbers. What can be done?
I would previously I had spoken to the president of DHTA, and we had the discussion about sports tourism with chess, and she was very positive about it. She liked the idea. We just need to finalize to see how we can get things moving. What is the best way to introduce the chess tourism? When the tourists come, it's something that we're really serious about doing. I know that she has been very positive about it. I just need to meet with her again so we can finalize and decide on how we're going to do it, how we're going to execute.
Yeah, but just for them to have to have that there on their itinerary, all right, that there's an active chess federation in Dominica.
Right.
You ask question, the same thing. The guy said he wasn't in Dominica and he wanted to play chess, but there wasn't understood.
No.
But now you have a present a body, an active body. All right, so there is no excuse. If somebody on the boat wants to play chess, all right, before normally I have been on the cruise, all right, and before you depart, you know exactly what is happening in the island. All right, so that would be and that there's a chess federation in Dominica, whoever interested in playing chess.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, that's excellent. That's a great suggestion, Emmanuel. And all right, so beyond, looking forward internationally. What's the next big thing for the chess competition? I think you said you're going somewhere this year, right? The international competition or something.
Right. So, first we trying to see if we're looking to send about 2 to 4 students to compete in a age tournament. Age meaning that there's different age levels. So it goes from age under 7 to under 17. So there are categories under 7, under 9, and So we want to have some of our young players. We have a national youth champion, which is Lucas Sorrendo, and we have other talented chess youth players on the island. We're looking to see which ones we can send out to that competition. Beyond that now, and that will be in May, on the 11th of May. That's when it starts, and that it will be in El Salvador. So we're looking forward to send a few players to there. In September, it will be the World Chess Olympiad. I believe the 46th World Chess Olympiad, and we have participated in the last 2 of them, and we're hoping to be able to participate in this one again. One of the things we use in our tournaments for this time around is to help select the team. So we have a point system where we can select our players who are going to represent us in that tournament. And the coming qualifiers for the national championship and then the national championship itself will be the last 2 tournaments we use. We use the first 2 years would be the national tournament last year, which we had in November, and the qualifiers as well. And then now we're going to use this year the 2 tournaments again to finalize who our team going to be, so we can send. Usually they give us assistance to go to the tournament, so we're going to looking to send our player information to them as early as possible. So soon after the tournament, we're going to know our team and send our information and then get to practicing so we can finish even better than we did the last 2 years.
Excellent. That's great. That's great incentive and encouragement for the young players, and then the national competition is usually at what time in the year? What time will it be this year? Your local national.
So it's going to be
tournament.
in April, on the
April.
11th of April. That is going to last for 2 weekends. So we're going to use Saturday and Sunday, and then the following Saturday and Sunday. So, and then that's it. But the qualifiers will be in March. Like on the 21st, we have the women's qualifiers, and on the 28th, we have the absolute qualifiers. By the 21st and the 22nd, the 28th and the 29th.
Oh, okay, that's excellent. So quite a lot of chess been played,
Yes,
and
a
that's
lot of
very good.
chess.
Quite a crowded calendar. That's good. I think you guys are doing very, very well, and hopefully when you come next time, you'll bring one of these young chess players so we can interact with. We thoroughly enjoyed discussion we had with this young chess player from the Convent High School.
Our women's champion.
Yes. I mean, that was a brilliant conversation. So, you can bring, when you come in next time, it'd be good to have one, especially on the young chess players. I think it's good when the other young people around the country hears from young people like themselves, then that might be some incentive for them to come out and be a part and take chess. And I like the idea of chess because I know it's a mental game, so it obviously is very good for the students to help them, and then it's also good for the sports people as well. People who play sports can also benefit from chess. So good. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Morvan. You and for the hard and dedicated work that you do. Congratulations on last weekend events, and of course Saturday you said you will be in the Gardens, and on the 14th you will be in Portsmouth. All right, excellent. So
I just wanted to just highlight one more big event we have coming up for the year.
Sure.
That's our National Chess Festival. We did the first one last year. It was well received, and we're looking to have an even bigger and better one this year. That will be in July. We will give we'll finalize the date and put out that information. But you can look forward to our chess festival happening in July this year.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you, and good luck with this. All right, thank you so much. All right, we were talking here to Mr. Morvan, who is the president of the Dominica Chess Federation, a very busy federation doing everything to promote the sport here in Dominica. And from the looks of it, succeeding as they move along. So, of course, if you have an interest in chess, be sure to check out their Facebook page where you can get all of the information on the Dominica Chess Federation. All right. Thank you. When we come back, we'll be talking to the PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Mr. Ebby Lawrence. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with our second guest for tonight, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you.
Okay, we are back. All right. Thank you so much. We were supposed to be joined by the PRO of the Football Association, but for the second week in a row, we are not able to get him. We're not able to speak to the PRO. So we'll take the time. We'll take the next few minutes to just talk about the Premier League. So while we have not spoken about the Premier League, and also some, I was looking over the past week at some UEFA games as well, the European Championships. They're in full cry as well, where the top teams, the top first division teams from all of the European countries, that's very high class, high level football. And today, Emmanuel, there was a big game. All right, let's see if this is the PRO. All right. Yes, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I just came up from a meeting there, so I was kind of.
Oh, you were okay.
I missed your call.
All right. So I said, you see, that's the thing. I said 10 to, so I called you exactly 10 to. Sorry about that. All right. Well, it's good to have you. It's good to have you, Abby, and thank you for joining us on Sports Wrap for tonight. Quite a lot has been going on with the football, and it's a great opportunity for you to update our listeners as to what exactly has been on the cards. We know that there was some President Cup matches that have been ongoing. The finals we are told is also coming. Tell us a little bit about what is going on currently with the football.
Good night to the listeners of Q95. Good night, Dr. Fountain, and to your panelists. Just coming from a Congress, actually, Football Congress, and the new constitution has been ratified, accepted by the clubs. So going forward, there will be no measures governing the Dominica Football Association that we can discuss in subsequent Sports Wrap program. But nonetheless, the President Cup will continue. We just had on Wednesday, we United coming up against Do It Center Mighty Avengers, Do It, and we United were victorious. So we go to the quarterfinals this weekend, and we will see we United coming up against Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers. The finals is anticipated of the Champions Cup to be played next weekend, the Lord Stairs, when everything is settled and ironed out. We will also have the final two of our women's game being played on Sunday. So again, this is just been ironed out, ensuring that everything is in order to really bring the 2025 season to a complete end, so we could actually commence the new season starting somewhere in April.
Excellent. So the final. So what's the anticipation then for the finals with respect to the teams that are expected?
Well, the hype is in the camp. The teams are prepared. They are moving slowly. Nonetheless, there is still continuous training for the senior national men's team. So these are some of the areas we are trying to work out the details, because as one would know, that the main ground would be the Stockton Technical Center. Hence, certain logistics and training must be considered and taken into consideration prior to everything. But the more that camp is exciting, is Dubla, is We United, that of Portsmouth Bombers. So we will see some exciting football come this weekend into next weekend, bringing the 2025 football season to an end. Our young U20 just had their tour in Panama. The results are not what is expected, but we want to commend the young men for fully showing up and showing their work. We also want to commend our women team for doing the same. After coming up from an 18 love from Jamaica, they proved themselves worthy and had themselves 3-0 versus that of Guyana. Also, we want to give quick kudos to our U17 as well. For again, the results were not what is expected, but they showed that they have what it takes to be on the field against the Goliaths of football and and really represent themselves well.
That is excellent. So the 25-26 season ends in March, and when does the 26-27 begin?
Well, hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully because there are certain areas that will be considered. For example, a full audit of 2025 season will begin, and we've started in terms of we do not want that long haul. If one were to understand that this year the football dragged and the new season we will not want it, so we anticipate hopefully the second week of April thereabout we will commence the new season once everything is in place. So, for example, we auditing the number of officials, the number of grounds that are available on a given, and the readiness of the grounds, the readiness of the club. So as soon as the national team returns from their overseas duty, then we will have a word of when we will officially commence the 2026 season, which will be, I can guarantee the nation, an exciting season. There will be a new feature, not per se feature, but the first division, for example, will not be the same as we had it. There's a tier 1 and a tier 2. The tier 1s are the higher actelions, if one have a better word, for the first division. That's the stronger teams. And the tier 2 are the weaker vessels that will make themselves worthy to really challenge that of the tier 1s. So some exciting program will be seen in the new season. What is going on within the DFA? The National Academy is still training, so there is continuous training with the National Academy. So while the season is surely coming to an end, we are starting now, come as of next week, to build momentum going forward for the new season.
That is excellent. Let me just ask him a quick follow-up on this, and then I'll bring you. You mentioned the readiness of the clubs for the upcoming year. I understand that the transfer season is open. When does it close? And also, Ebby, for the benefit of our listeners, just explain what the transfer window is all about, because that's relatively new in Dominica football.
The transfer, well, it's not new,
No, I said relatively. Yeah. In the sense it was not always there.
That's where I remember from one club is opted to play to another club if she chooses. Now, I remember I said she. So, for example, if Southeast saw in Douglas team that they got a better midfielder, and Southeast wants that midfielder, Southeast will do all in its power to recruit for want of a better. So one would say, but that doesn't make sense. So every team, every club wants the best for themselves, and hence the window is open. It was opened actually from the 2nd of March and will close on the 31st of March. So this allows the teams now, the very clubs, to harness again momentum and to recruit the best of what they saw for the last season. So this is the time now clubs are making some massive transfers. So we will see some new players playing for new clubs come the opening of the new season. All
right, that is excellent. So we have this transfer window, but it's basically just the players deciding, right? There are no agents or anything. The players are the ones that decide whether or not they want to move. Okay.
Just the players. So Dr. Fontaine, if you're opting to transfer to Goodwill Runners, the transfer window is open.
Well, that's something to think about.
I'm just being a little joke here, but if you're opting, if the management is opting for transferring to the new side, again, the transfer window is open for all, and like I say, we are just going to wait. There will be a new branding coming in this season, and I would say to others, take the constructive criticism from the Sports Shop program and the many persons that listen. So there will be a branding, a new branding part of the football, so you will know when Premier Football is playing. We cannot do it in every field, but most likely we will be doing it in Stockholm, where when the Premier teams are playing, you will see a level of branding coming forward. When the first division will be playing, there will be a new level of branding. The women, a new level of branding. The youth, a new level of branding. And here will be coming the new season, a anthem that is of Dominica Football Association based on Dominican music. So we'll be having an FA, the AFA anthem. We have the CONCACAF, we have other FAs doing that. So I'm anticipating some big move from the end of the season into the new season, and I'm just going to have the patrons to know that, guess what? We're just going to start electrifying the product now.
Yeah.
Yes, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yes. How are you, brother? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. First of all, being I was in Dominica for the carnival, Baffin still I live. I passed by the football house with two friends from overseas, and Dominicans, and we were not happy when we saw the state of the field. I think that can be maintained. It doesn't complement the football house at all, because even though it is the Baffin State Committee, but the field is adjacent. And the field is adjacent to the football house, the Olympic Committee. So I'm hoping by now something has been done to upgrade the field, to keep it down, keep it neat. That's one. Two, I saw Dominica playing. I saw the women against Guyana. I watched the under-20 subject. Yes, was an under-20 team playing recently?
Yes, there was. And they came down actually on Tuesday.
Yes, especially, the women have a lot of work to be done still, a lot of work. But when we have
we all know.
Yeah, yes, when we have an under-20, next is, from this you can have senior players. All right, I'm looking at deficiencies technically. I'm a bit, not happy what I'm seeing with our players technically. That if they can improve. There are lots of things in the game. Lots of things they can be done in the game to improve on the game, to make us in terms of being competitive. All right, they're not aggressive enough on the ball. They are being pushed out too easily. They don't protect, ball and man. These are the things that should be, they should have acquired long ago. Because presently football now players are more aggressive. You play against the Spanish teams. You can see the Spanish teams, they're highly technical, very, very technical. Looking at how they were taught very, very early. These technical things, in terms of playing football, how to get the ball, win the ball. All right. And the other things that we are lacking. And we are lacking if we have to be competitive and, in terms to compete with this, in CONCACAF, have to improve that. And secondly, the team itself wasn't looking fit to me. Our midfield was very empty. A lot of times, the midfield. So, I just wasn't happy at all what I saw with that level of players. If we have to go forward with our teams. We have these are the things. The academies have to work on. They have to work on these things, because when you send these players out, when they get older. All right, on the 20 senior team, you're looking at players who are well equipped to take on one-on-one, shield, able to protect that ball, able to play football. But these skills have to be acquired very, very early if we have to, to take the football to the next level.
Yes, and maybe also as you attempt to respond to Emmanuel's observation, also for the T20, we understood that there were some issues around the coaches, with 2 coaches being suspended. Probably also shed some light on that, and whether or not that has some impact on the way the tournament unfolded for the under-20s.
There is always room for improvement, and Low Black, I can attest to the fact that yes, we've been asking, when will we see the changes? Yes, while the FA should take the brunt of the blows, but again, it says how ready the clubs itself are when it comes to really creating the best of players. But again, this is a matter that is being looked at and see how well we can correct such deficiencies. So in the meantime, we work with what we have and ensure that they represent to the best of their ability.
What were the coaches Dr. Fontaine said that were
this same applies, huh? Because one would take into effect that, with the exception of Coach Hurd, every other coach on island is most likely doing his secular work rather than coaching, and you only spend like 2 to 3 hours with the team on a given day. So to maximize results, yes, probably going forward we need to visit the fact that we need coaches to be within the FA and that's their job. So example, midfield, we know we have a pool of midfielders and there is somebody for it. There is a pool of goalkeepers and there is somebody there doing that. So these are the deficiencies within. But again, we need to start revisiting how things were done. It cannot just be hand-picking people. If we want to see these areas develop, we really have to consider these areas. And I can tell you that going forward, you will be seeing some of these changes.
All right, thank you very much, Abby. Now, also, going forward, if you like, looking forward, what else can we expect on the international scene or regional scene for football in Dominica?
Yes, we will get there, Dr. Fontaine. I mean, the fact that we are investing heavily on our athletes, in the next 3 or 2 years, we will definitely see what is expected. But in the meantime, I just want to tell Dominicans and our very football lovers, patience, win the game, and just allow as we develop together. We may not agree, we may agree to disagree, we may not agree on everything, but we trust the players, we trust the coaches, and let's just give the players and encourage the very athletes themselves to be disciplined about representing Dominica and themselves, be disciplined about the football. Yes, we may say football doesn't have the money in Dominica, but like I said to an athlete even this morning, you just never know when a scout will meet you. You just never know. So we just want to encourage all to give maximum time to develop themselves, to develop the program. We encourage the clubs. If you think ways you want to build and build on capacity, there is a coaches education department within the FA headed by Mr. Egbert John Baptist, with his team, Stanton Serafin and that of Rosie Regis, together with the technical director. You can always call on them to help with developing your acts in coaching. So while we have it, so we're just asking the clubs to make use of what is available to them so that we have a better product.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Abby, for that. Thank you for taking the time. And as you said, this weekend, big finals, President's Cup finals. This weekend, next weekend. We are not in the finals yet. Next weekend. We are not in the finals yet. So when's the finals? Not next weekend?
The finals will be next week. Yeah,
next weekend. Right. Next weekend. Yeah. Right. So great. All right. So and then, but this weekend is a quarters, right?
Yeah.
All right. So football, nonetheless, taking place at what time?
Well, the time I will. The times are not in my head right now because I'm.
But normally it starts at 4, right? It's from 4 to.
It should be 4.
Mm-hmm. All right. So from 4 o'clock we should have football action
taking
place.
Football, yeah. We should have football.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we encourage the public to go out there and support local football. Yeah. Support local football. It makes a huge difference when there are crowds in the in the bleachers, screaming for the teams. It does in fact help the players to develop their own game. So we really would like to encourage the public to go out there and support local football. That is important. All right, thank you very much, Abby, and congratulations again for all you do, and thanks to the DFA for working so very hard to ensure that football continues to do well here in the country as we develop. It's a learning process, as you said. We are getting there. It's a slow march nonetheless, but we are getting there, and yeah. So we are thankful for all the hard work that goes into organizing and just taking this. And we hope, as you said, we had some slippages last year in terms of timing. Hopefully this year, lessons learned will be a little bit more efficient and better structured and so. All right. So thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you. So this was Mr. Ebby Lawrence, the Public Relations Officer for the Dominica Football Association, telling us about all of the exciting activities that are taking place there. And of course, let me encourage you as well. This weekend, we have the quarterfinals of the President's Cup and the finals taking place next weekend at the Stockfam Stadium. I think that's what it's called, Stockfam Stadium. All right. We are going to take a very quick break. And when we come back, Emmanuel and listeners, we are going to be talking to the Kalinago Football League. And as soon as we are through with that, we'll be talking T20 cricket and all of the cricket action. But I also wanted to, someone sent us a note that we should have spoken about during our chess. So before we go to break, let me just read what this person says. It's a very interesting note from St. Kitts. It says that the inmates at His Majesty's prison in St. Kitts and Nevis, they achieved a historic 4th place finish in the 5th FIDE Intercontinental Online Chess Championship for prisoners, October 14 to 16, 2025. So you have some very intelligent prisoners in St. Kitts and Nevis there taking 4th place in an international online chess competition, which took place in last year. So it will be interesting to see what happens this year. All right. So you see, there is chess in the prisons in St. Kitts. That's probably something we'll ask our guests when we next see him about the introduction of chess in the prisons here in Dominica. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, hopefully we'll be joined by the Mr. Burton as he tells us about what's going on currently with the Kalinago football or Kalinago Cricket League. All right, so the Kalinago Cricket League when we come back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Sports Wrap for today, the 5th day in the month of March 2026. It's just about 30 minutes going on past you 7 o'clock, and we've been trying to make contact there with the good people at the Kalinago League, Kalinago Cricket League, without much success. So we're just going to be going right into our discussion, Emmanuel. T20 action, lots of controversies. You know, there was a big controversy today over a catch, whether or not that was a catch. You know, actually not today. Yesterday, you know, lots of controversies there over this. You know, so we are going to be talking about this, but we have the two finalists, Emmanuel, for the T20, India and New Zealand.
Well, Dr. Fountain, the game of cricket is a game, you know, you cannot bet on it at all. Anything can happen. I would never advise anybody to bet because I mean, they say, look, New Zealand. Well, I expect, first of all, a very tough game. But New Zealand, they bowl very well to restrict South Africa to 170 runs. And their opening batsmen took their chances, and that was it. And they went leather hunting.
Yes, I mean that first I feel like that first semi-final match was quite something. The way New Zealand, I mean, dismantled South Africa. You know, that's the thing about T20. On any given day, any team can really win a T20 because going into the semi-finals, it looked like South Africa was the team to beat.
Yep.
It looked like they had the most complete team in terms of their bowlers, in terms of their batting. And then they were just taken apart by just one guy, you know, the fastest century in the history of T20. We already have a caller. I'm sure, you know, callers have some time tonight to weigh in on the T20, on what they're seeing so far. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Doc. Good evening, Lovin.
Yes, good evening.
Last week, I predicted South Africa-India final. Well, South Africa lived up to their name as chokers. It seems as though anytime they got to a big tournament, come to the latter stage, they're choking. So that's why they call them chokers. And they scored 170 something runs, which proved to be inadequate for New Zealand. And I mean, New Zealand just blew them away. Finn Allen scoring over 200 strike rates. That was something else. And today, well, I had two teams in the tournament, as I said. West Indies, my first team, and India, my second team. And India through to the final, so they are very, very good in the game. Over 400 and something runs scored in 40 overs. And I'm looking for India to win, to leave the title on Sunday. Now, I hope Mr. Maynard is listening. I have some information for him. Last week, he just suggested that India is an overrated team.
I don't agree with him.
Now, let us look at the last two captains. Rohit Sharma won 41 T20 games. He lost 12. Yadav won 38. He also lost 12. So 41 and 28, they have won 79 games, losing 24. The last game India lost to South Africa, they had gone 12 consecutive T20 World Cup games, 12 consecutive. You're not talking about just ordinary T20, World Cup game. So I want to ask Mr. Murad, if he get a chance to call, do you call that a team that is overrated? Good evening, gentlemen.
No, caller, hold on. Let me engage you just quickly, because yeah, you are absolutely correct in terms of the statistics and so on. But do you also agree that West Indies had a shot at beating them, were it not for what happened with Hekmaya? Also, well, give me your thoughts on what happened, on what you thought happened to Hekmaya. Was that out? Because quite clearly, if Hekmaya had stayed in the game, that would have been a different outcome. And I
saw Hetman to me, but took his pads. I didn't see that.
Yes, it was clearly his 5 pad. And how could the review give him out? I'm still baffled. That was one of the biggest talking points of the entire tournament, because that was the turning point in the game. I mean, Hekmaya, given his how he's really grown into playing spin bowling, that would have been a different thing altogether, I think. So
definitely,
in a way, India has been lucky. I was talking to Locke earlier, and it was like, well, some teams need luck, because England played really well. England only lost by 7 runs, chasing down 257.
No, not 7.
Oh, yes, that's a thing I forget to mention. You see that guy, Bethel. This guy is going to be a superstar. That Bethel guy from England, that he's going to be a superstar. And let us go back to the West Indies game. Another thing, I don't know what happened to our captain. When Chase was going, we expected he to do what Chase was doing, because normally that is his role, or that's the way he plays. But when his Chase was going, as we would say, helter-skelter, and he was just playing ODI.
Yes. That was very strange. That was very. It's almost like he was allowing Chase to carry it when it should have been his responsibility. I wanted Hope to come and say, guys, this is on me. I'm the captain of this team. We're going to go to the semifinals, and I'm going to lead. In the end, he had a strike rate of 100. Very subpar. Very and given how Chase was batted, I believe Chase had a rate of 180 something,
180 something, and I was like his character,
I mean, he stepped up,
and I don't know what happened to our captain. I already do that. So that's why we lost the game, Doc. The way the captain batted, and that controversial out Hetmaya.
Yes. I mean, that was very, and I don't know, man, when you have those replays, I mean, it was so obvious that it hit the pad. The 5 pad. That was so obvious, and then
the thing they had 2 experienced umpires, 2 experienced umpires, so I don't know how they made that mistake.
You see, it tells me that
umpire.
You know what I think personally. I believe that the people that do, the technicians, because they're the ones, the umpires are looking, right? They're the guys that the technical people, they have a way of doing some manipulation to this thing, because I don't know how that ball, after it passed the bat, ended up on the bat again. Because they showed one angle that they showed that the ball was next to the bat when it had already passed. I mean, it's just, that was just a bizarre.
As people keep saying, Doc, if the technology can be manipulated. And if we go back to the India-Australia game, you see what Snicko? You see a lot of mistake we had with Snicko?
Yes.
That test series?
Yes, it did. And then the catch again today with, I think, the same Allen. A catch that he took, that was also controversial. It looked like the ball bumped into his hand. The game of yesterday, New Zealand.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday,
It was the one with New Zealand and thing. And then, some I have support in New Zealand, but I like the New Zealanders. Those guys are real gentlemen. It's the fielder who asked the umpire to review it. He said he wasn't sure.
Man, I mean, let me tell you.
The umpire to look at the catch again,
New Zealand,
and the umpire give it off.
New Zealand wins the Fair Play Award every single tournament. These guys are just gentlemen. I mean, I like New Zealand. I anytime New Zealand is playing, except when they're playing against West Indies, I support New Zealand, whichever team they're playing
Okay.
against, because I
Yes,
just like their
gentlemen, as
style.
we have been line, as we have been line for some
Yes,
other caller.
yes, sure. Thank you, Cole. Yeah, I like New Zealand a lot, because they you can never write them out in the tournaments. The caller before talked about South Africa choking. New Zealand is the opposite. They somehow find a way to win. I mean, they kind of just came in on under the radar for that tournament, and they very well could defeat India
Dr.
in the
Fontaine,
finals.
Dr. Fontaine,
hmm
let me tell you something. New Zealand, look, they're very disciplined. I look at them in their bowling. That's how they restricted South Africa. And what we just said there about Hetmeyer, I saw that. I told myself, at all costs, India must be in the final. Money speaks. It's big money.
Boy.
You can say what? Look, that is my views here. That's my views.
No, but it goes back, Emmanuel, to this whole seeding business. This
Yeah.
whole thing was seeded for India to make it through to the finals.
Well, how you mean? But
You know?
they are meeting a team that will not be easy.
Oh yes. Emmanuel, okay, we have another caller. A good evening, caller. Welcome to
Good
Sports
evening,
Wrap.
gentlemen, and to Lockhart, wherever you be at this time. What did the Hetmeyer, did you realize as soon as they give him what, at the instant he called for a referral,
Yes, because he felt it brush his thigh pad. It was obvious.
Yes. The other players just refer, they take it time before they refer, but he knew they need the ball. So as soon as they give him what, at the instant he asked for a referral. But what I realized, even in the Super 8, I realized every team had win the toss. They usually send West Indies and bat.
Mm-hmm.
My assessment is that they realize West Indies, their bowling is not just strong.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's not
Exactly.
strong when it comes to bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Even India did it, South Africa did it, send them into bat. And I find, when I was the bowling, I find Jason Nolan does go for too much. He does the bowling was the bowling let us down.
Yes, I mean the bowling is not as good as the batting. I mean we have we have 11 guys in that team who can who any one of the 11, well probably 9, can
Anyway,
win
thank
the
you.
game for you. Thank you, caller. And that's a fair observation with respect to the bowling, probably not as strong, but that game when they substituted, they did not play Akil Hussain, the number 1 spinner. That was a bizarre decision, and we ended up losing that game. It's just strange sometimes the decisions that are taken. But Emmanuel, it has been an exciting T20 competition thus far.
But
I'm going to bet on New Zealand. I've not been lucky in betting this time, but certainly New Zealand.
As the caller was talking about our bowling, something I've looked at, the Dr. Fontaine, I've looked at Holder over that experience, that height he has. He has not been able to put a good Yorker in his arsenal. That's what I find with him.
Yes.
Emmanuel,
okay, we'll come back to that. Let's hear from this caller. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Sports Wrap.
Emmanuel, hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening. You're live on Sports Wrap.
You're hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, okay. Okay, great. Yes, I want to say good evening to you, the host. I realize that your normal host is not there.
Correct. He is off this week, but he'll be back next week. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But the job and the mission will still continue. Somebody have to carry on, because this is a very important program. And discussing, the important World Cup. Today, I think cricket, was the winner.
I don't really have any team in the race. My two teams, Australia and the West Indies, done gone home. But, you know, we witnessed some very, very good cricket today. I still stand by my word that what I said in terms of India. You can win a match, but you win the match because sometimes the other team is the team that did not show up. So you look good. You happen to win because a team, you know, have not performed and you happen to have the better day. But that don't mean that you're the better team. The best team already went home out of the tournament. They did not go through because there's no other team have these quality players like Head and Maxwell. None. And if every team have the two top players in form, you know, you will see the difference between. And Australia also didn't have the main bowlers, but they still bowl out the Zimbabwe team 420 something. It's just that the batting, as I said last week, did not show up in that game, and that cost them the tournament, you know. But they got to come again. Sometimes champions are down, but when you get knocked down, the reality and what is important is if you stay down or you get up, right?
That's
I
for
want to
sure.
say a couple things.
Yes,
that
quickly, because we have
you
a
realize,
lot of people line up. Yes.
yeah, you realize that the New Zealand team, imagine somebody like Conway, who is a world-class player, is not in the New Zealand 11.
Mm-hmm.
If he was in any other 11 team in the world, he would have been playing. That is the strength of the New Zealand team. The New Zealand team now is an underrated team because the New Zealand team is a very, very good team. They have world-class players, bowlers, opening, you know, middle order, you name it. Very, very, very good team, right? So we hope that, first of all, we get a good pitch on Sunday. And I really get very disturbed when even players continue to talk about wicket taking spin and wicket this. They're not playing on a wicket. The wicket is the stump. They are playing on the pitch. The pitch is what takes spin and play through, and you can play through the line and whatever. The pitch, and imagine that their players continue, international players, even commentators and people who even play the game, keep talking about wicket taking spin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that people, but you realize
Yes.
it's 499 runs also scored today
Yes, indeed.
in just 40 overs.
Overs, incredible, eh? All right, caller.
Right.
We're gonna have to take you off on this because we have other callers waiting to make the contribution. Thank you so much for this. Yeah, let's go continue. Good evening, caller. You're live. Go ahead, please. Caller, go ahead,
Hello.
please. Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, panel. Good evening, Thompson.
Yes. Good evening.
My brother,
Good
how are
evening,
you?
Luby.
My brother, how are you?
I'm good. I tried my best.
I know that.
I think so far the World Cup Men's T20 have been very exciting. Very exciting. Very competitive. The semi-final between New Zealand and South Africa, I think New Zealand just obliterated, devastated South Africa. They didn't have any answer. That batting of Finn Allen was fantastic. I think it was a record.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
a T20 championship record.
33 balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
T20 championships, yes.
Yeah, I think he beat Chris Gayle, because I think Chris Gayle had scored 151 or 51 balls in some games. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most sixes, I think Finn Allen has 6, how many? 20, Hetmeyer had 19.
That is correct.
Most sixes in a
And
in,
then,
in,
you know, but
yeah,
But Alan,
In one of the editions, Hetmeyer scored 19. I have been following Hetmeyer panel
Mhm.
from the under 19 T20. Remember under 19, he was captain of West Indies under 19, and they won a World Cup under 19.
Correct.
From that time, I told myself Hetmeyer is a classic player. Classic player, but I think the problem with administration of the West Indies caused him, well, apart from his own personal, caused him
Oh, I
to
was
lapse a bit
I was
for a
about
couple
to
of
say
years.
you cannot take much of the blame from him because he just was not fit. There was a time when he was just not fit. He put on weight. He was slow. You know.
Yeah. I think that stressed him out. But if you notice, he's coming back. He understands his role as number 3, and he's not a wishy-washy, big hitting batsman batting number 8, and he understands his role at number 3, and he's executing perfectly, as indicated as we saw in the World Cup. I think that was very fantastic. Now, we must think of the West Indies team. Sammy, the head coach, is expressing frustration on social media that they are still stranded in India because of that war.
Oh, okay. I was not aware that it has reached as far as in there.
Yes, and he I think he tweeted that he at least an update, give us an update. What is happening? Because it seems one of the teams, Zimbabwe, left today.
Mhm.
Things was arranged, but they are still in India, and you know well that airspace and that war, Iran and bombing and whatever. It seems they are very frustrated.
Yes, indeed. All right, something to watch. Well, thank you very much, caller. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, take care,
for
man.
calling. Thank you.
And,
You know, Emmanuel. You know, cricket is very funny. You know, I mean, India. Look at India. One man. You know, the big guns for India has not really fired. You know,
no,
India has had no reason to be in this finals.
but
India's in this final because of one man, Sanju Samson, someone who did not start, by the way.
huh?
Okay, that is a man who was not supposed to play.
I know, but
Okay, then he scored a 97 not out against West Indies, and today he scored an 89.
yeah,
These are the kind of scores that Kohli had when they won the World Cup a couple of years ago. And it is clear to me that, you know, Samson, I believe, should be the player of the tournament. Simply because before the tournament, no one spoke about Samson. In fact, like I said, the only reason why he got to play is because of, I believe, they decided to make a change because as if the team was not jiving as they expected. You know, but the big scores, like, you know, Abhishek Sharma, the number 1 T20 player in the world, you know, he has hardly fired in this tournament. Kishan, Dubey, Yadav. I mean, these guys, to me, they've all been struggling. But Sanju Samson, and you know, when this guy was batting against West Indies, it looked to me that nobody could get him out.
no, but
He
remember,
played the kind of innings where, you know, when you're just in a zone, and it is clear that he's hit form at the absolute right time. I used to look at this guy playing in the IPL. Yeah, and he, you know, and you know, remembering him in the IPL is someone who likes to hook sixes.
Yeah.
But he has been playing very, very well. He's not just there slugging and hitting big sixes. He's scoring, you know, he's scoring up good cricket shots, you know, taking the boundaries and so on. And I mean, you know, to me, that is my player of the tournament, because coming into that, like I said, he was not spoken about, you know, and now he's literally carrying in there on his shoulders, on his lone shoulders, you know, and it's very, very, very interesting to see, you know, Sanju Samson. I mean, who could have guessed it, you know? But in there, I guess at the end of the day, they're in the finals, and we should have a very classic matchup this
Yeah,
weekend.
but you see, Dr. Fountain, when you look at our bowling, I will say it again. If we had a different, let's say, if we had I put in some other coach, if you had a white man who was the coach of the West Indies team, he would ensure that the board give him some time for preparation. Seriously.
So you think the lack of preparation is what cost us?
But
All
it
right.
would have cost,
Okay.
especially,
Well,
look,
let's go. Hold on a while, Emmanuel. Let's see the caller and we'll come back. Yes. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Sports Wrap.
I just want to say quickly that I disagree with your comment and observation in reference to Samson being the player of the tournament. There are many other players who are ahead of him, but Samson, fortunately, because of the other opener, the left-hander, who was in pinker form at the beginning of the tournament, he was the one who was making the run. And then he started to fail. So they put him down in the order and put Samson to open. And he happened to came good against the West Indies. And he came good today.
Yeah, well, but
none of the
two critical games, two crucial games. I mean, they failed. Samson not getting this 97 not out against West Indies. Remember, they won with only 4 balls to spare. One could argue that if Samson had not scored its 97 or 50 balls, that it is possible that India could have lost against the West Indies. So I'm talking about how critical his role has been when the others around him has not really fired. He scored 97. The other person, I think it was Varma, who scored 25 or 26. So it seems to me that because of his role in those 2 critical games that got India to the finals, I believe, and given the form that he's in, we expected another performance from him in the finals.
And you realize catches win matches because he was dropped early and he happened to get a chance and, end up with a decent, 89, which we all agree batted very, very well when you're making 89 off of some 42 deliveries. But the player of the tournament, also who is ahead of him, is Will Jacks. He has an excellent World Cup with the bat and the ball, taking 2 for 40 today, and but you also realize
so caller, hold on. Are you going to give a player of the tournament for a team that does not make it to the finals? Because
no.
I mean, if a player of the tournament should at least take his team to the finals, don't you agree?
No, not always. No. There are sometimes a player would have done enough up until maybe the semi, and did not get into the finals. But you have one player who might have had an outstanding final, but in terms of their contribution throughout the World Cup, probably may not done enough. These things sometimes happen. Sometimes people get the player of the tournament, but never were in the finals. But you also realize that no Indian have scored 100 in the World Cup.
That is correct. That's what I'm saying. India has basically hopped and chopped along. Yeah. Samson, I think, came the closest with his 97 not out.
We also have to commend the young player, the left-hander for England, who would have scored. He now registered. Yes. He now registered his 3rd century. He has scored a test, a one day before the test, and now a 2020. And not many even great players would have scored a 2020 100 throughout the career. So at his age, at this stage, he now establishing himself definitely as a world-class player in the future, because maybe getting there, but I perhaps would not class him there as yet. You got to be a little more consistent. But something I needed to point out, you realize that 4 of the world-class players have not played in this tournament. Kohli for India, Steve Smith for Australia, Williamson for New Zealand, and Joe Root for England. So, game would have lost 4 outstanding players at all versions of the game and the career, you know. But unfortunately, there are times when you have to go, and India, because Kohli is not there, somebody else get in. Sharma is not there. The other, young fella get a chance to open, and he's also a very, very good player. So yes, the Indian team can get back to, the real quality that they would have done. But you realize that if Bumrah did not perform so much today, maybe because England, as I said last week, is a very, very good team. And Butler, who's supposed to be a world-class player, which I believe is in his last World Cup, because he is not doing anything. And also, which I have to make it very important, make it very clear. You realize the opening batsman for England is on the bench. Can't get in the team.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So the England team also is a very, very strong team. They almost traced down, a record score,
That is correct.
253.
That is correct.
With
Yes.
India with over probably maybe 70,000 people in India and over 1 billion people. They have the resources, but other teams are coming to the table.
Yes, indeed. Okay, caller. Again, we're trying to get some more callers in, and all the lines are going. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to the next caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, Doc, I tend to support Mr. Maynard, only player of the tournament. It should be just the
But so what's the purpose of the
it should be
tournament?
just the semi and things like
No,
that.
no,
The
no.
entire tournament.
It should be no, but the point I'm making though is that you should at least be able to take your team to the finals. So how are you to play the tournament and you can take your team to the finals?
Not necessarily.
I'm not
As
saying you
said,
win the finals, but you take your team to the finals.
Yeah, not necessarily. You may perform very well for the tournament, and you have got the support the others not performing. So you
So how
cannot
are you
take your
play-
team to the tournament.
So how are you the player of the tournament? It's a team sport, not an individual sport.
Yeah, but you are the player of the tournament, and it should include from the group stage to how you calling it, Super 8 and finals and semi-finals. So if your team didn't make the finals and semi-finals, but you perform very well in the group stage, you perform very well in the Super 8, so you can get the player of the tournament. But what they should have now is a player of the semis and finals. So that is where what's his name? Samson will come in. Because remember, it's the player of the tournament, the entire tournament. Yeah, that's why I would support
Yeah,
Mr. Maynard.
the only way I would argue this is this, I agree that the player of the tournament to me should be the person that brings it, because you could score, for example, an individual could score hundreds, 100 in every single game in the hits or in the first stage of the tournament. He could score 100 in every single game, but if his team does not go through to the next round, it's useless because it is a team sport. Your contribution is supposed to help your team. If you're an outstanding player of the tournament, that contribution you make supposed to get your team into the finals. If it does not get your team into the finals, I don't see that as being the outstanding player because it's not an individual sport. That's how I would say it. But I want to take a quick, just a little segue. There's a little thing as we wait for our callers there. Emmanuel, I don't know if you're aware that this week we celebrated the 365 not out by Sir Gary Sobers in 1958. He was 21 years old, and the reason why I wanted to mention that Gary Sobers was 21 years old. He was playing his 29th match. He was playing his 29th match, and he had not yet scored 100. He had shown the talent. He had scored a couple of odd 50s and so on, but he had not 29 games, 29 matches, and he had not scored 100 runs. He scored his maiden 100 that day, and it turned into 365. The first and only player who scored a maiden on his maiden, in other words, his first 100 in tests became 365.
On a
A
typical
record that stood for a few decades before it was broken by
Lara.
one Brian Lara. And it was interesting that that game in Guyana, they were playing against Pakistan, and West Indies got 790 for free declared. 700 free because Conrad Hunt got, I believe, 256 or thereabouts. So
Right.
that was quite, and the 446 runs that they had for the second wicket stand, that I don't think has ever been broken. Even when the Lara scored his record with Chandapal, I think it was, Chandapal, they did not score as much runs together. So it's very interesting, and the reason why I wanted to mention that is because sometimes we can be so hard on the young players, for example, and I'm thinking specifically of our own Alec Afanaz. He has shown the talent, he's shown the ability, he has not yet performed, and people are quick to break him down. I don't think Alec has 28 test matches, does he?
No, but
I need to look at his record because I don't think so. But it's not that I'm not comparing Alec with the great Gary Sober, but I'm just saying that look at the kind of talent that Sir Gary had, and it took him 29 games before he got his maiden century.
But
All right? So sometimes we just need to be easy on the players, let them get themselves together.
But Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, go ahead. Mhm.
Yeah, let's looking back at the you know what happened? West Indies, India in the quarterfinal. It was the semi-final, quarterfinal. Do you know that I think India scored 130 runs with boundaries alone? Boundaries, 25 fours and 5 sixes.
130 out of the 197 that they had to score, yeah?
25 fours,
Mm-hmm.
5 sixes,
Mm.
That's 130 runs in boundaries,
Well, no, the boundaries are the fours, they refer to the boundaries as the four. 6 is not a boundary.
Still, that itself, when you can,
Yes.
can have that amount of runs already in fours and sixes, you're on your way.
Yes. No, but that's what West Indies did against when they whitewashed who it was. They scored, they had 19 sixes.
Yeah.
That's almost 120 runs. That's 114 runs that they had in just sixes.
Yeah.
Let us take this caller, Emmanuel, then we'll come back. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Fountain and Mr. Back.
Yes,
good evening to this time. I'm sorry that I have to interject at this moment. I tried a long time before he went into cricket. And when he went into cricket, it's going to be difficult to get him. But it's such as we're just going to thank the parents of the Salisbury Athletics Club who allowed the students to represent the club and the country in the meet that took place in Guadeloupe this weekend. We didn't have any qualifier from our club. However, we had a few personal bests from our area. And just want to highlight it. We had one young lady, Naila Allen, who had a 4.71 in the long jump, as a personal best, as well as she ran a 27.90 in the 200 meters. We also had Donald Paul, who did a personal best again in the long jump, 4.45.
Sorry, for some reason you're coming very, very muffled.
Muffled.
I'm not sure why. Are you speaking? Can you speak a little bit away from your phone to see? Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, it's slightly better. Yes.
Anything better?
Yes, and just a little bit more slowly as well. Yes.
Yeah, better. Okay, yes, I was saying that we had a young lady, Naira Allen, who contributed to a personal best record. The long jump to jump 4.71, just a few centimeters of the the qualifying mark, which is 71 centimeters of qualifying mark.
Emmanuel, are you able to hear him? Are you able to hear what he's saying?
It's still
It's
muffled.
very muffled. We're not able to hear you though.
It's not clear.
It's just not clear. It's extremely muffled. I'm not sure why.
Okay, well, let me try next line.
Try another line and see. Yeah, just call back another line and let's see what happens. In the meantime, let's go to this other caller. Good evening, caller.
7 more minutes.
Yes, yes, Doc. Permit me to talk about Gary,
Yes.
which my uncle told me I wasn't cricket at the time. He said Gary went to bat and he scored a low score. John Allott was commentating, and he said this guy doesn't seem to appreciate the importance of scoring a century. But when he does, he will be scoring doubles and triples. And his first century was a triple century, bringing John Allott's prediction on the points. Yeah.
Interesting. So what he saw the talent that he had. He saw what he was made
saw
of.
the
Yeah, he
talent.
saw the
And
talent.
he says Sobas realize the importance of scoring 100. But when he realized that, he'd be scoring doubles and triples.
And so said
Yeah.
so done, eh? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody has broken that record. I don't think the record of on your maiden test 100, you go on to score 300. In fact, the world record at the time that stood for many decades. I hope Sir Charles is able to call back. He was commenting, Emmanuel, on the athletes that went to Guadeloupe, and he was saying that unfortunately they had no qualifiers, but he was trying to give us some of the times of the athletes. I wish he had made contact with us earlier. So I would have been able to get him in on a better line to give that report, because obviously we're always looking forward to getting the report on track and field.
What he has to, in the future, try and get the number of one of us,
Yes, indeed. Okay, Emmanuel, look, somebody is calling. Let's see. It might just be Sir Charles. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening. Are you hearing me better?
All right. Yes, let's hope it keeps that way. Go ahead. Yes.
Yes, I was saying that I was just telling the parents from the Stratus Athletics Club who allow their athletes to participate in the franchise in Guadeloupe on the weekend. We did not have any qualifier from our club. However, we had a few personal bests in the name of Niall Allen, who jumped 4.71. I think she was just shy of 69 centimeters from making the standard qualifying standard for the 100 for the female on the 20. She also had 27.90 with a personal best in that regard in the 200 meters. We also had Donald Paul, who jumped 4.45 meters in the long jump on the 20 grades as well. There was also a good swing from the young lady who traveled with me as well, Dahlia Gifts, who ran 1.01.69. Not sure that's her personal best, but that's her time that she ran in the 400 meters. But she missed it out by just 1.69 seconds. She had to run on the 60 to qualify for on the 17 age category. So all in all, the experience was good. We had one qualifier added to the entire team, which is a young man from Portsmouth. His name is Caesar. As for his first name, his first name is Caesar. He ran 10 minutes, 19.28 seconds to qualify in on the 17,000 meters. And there's also another guy who had been, I think, who did jump the triple jump in the record time. So in the record time, but in the standard time to qualify. So he has now jumped into the 100 meters. So in the long jump, boys on the 20, and now has jumped into the triple jump boys on the 20 from the Aspires Athletics Club, and the young boy from the Aspires Athletics Club who will be representing us in 2000. I think he's 12 years old, getting to skating this year. Mostly it was a momentous moment when everybody was jumping and shouting and crying, and he did a very fantastic run in Guadeloupe. So all in all, we have 11 qualifiers so far, and I think this weekend they're going to Martinique, and hoping that we can get some more qualifiers. And this weekend,
all right. So you're heading to Martinique this weekend, hoping to get some qualifiers there.
Yes, a few will be going to Matthew. I will not be going to Matthew, but a few of the qualified athletes as well as some of them will be going to Matthew to see if they can get themselves qualified as well.
Okay,
But
excellent.
this Sunday is our final, it's the Athletes Association final meet in Granby to give the children an opportunity to qualify yet again. So we're looking for a few more names to add to the list. At least we get 15 to 16. That would be great so that we can go with a mammoth record of qualifying athletes to the Caribbean Games. And I must say, kudos to the Athletic Association for hosting a number of athletic meets around the island and throughout the year so that children get a lot of opportunities to make it to that point. And we're hoping that this time there will be one where we shall have many gold medals, silver and bronze medals on the podium.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And we want to wish the athletes going out there to qualify the best of luck. And also, those athletes will be taking part in the meet in Granby this weekend. We also want to wish them well and may they compete well so that they can, in fact, be able to be part of this Dominica Carifta team for this year. So thank you very much, Sir Charles. Appreciate it.
Most welcome.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. We big out to Sir Charles and others like him, Cedric and the others who continue to work so hard, and Dorset and the others who continue to work so hard within track and field to ensure that our athletes get the best opportunities to represent Dominica, represent the families, represent the country. And so we just want to say a big out and a big shout out of thanks to those who continue to give of their time, energy, and efforts, Vado. And you know what it was like? You are one who labored for many, many years, like they are doing now. So thanks to you as well.
Dr. Fontaine, Olympians Athletic Club, yeah? What we did in Dominica, we were like an institution. Like what I went with the athletes, their commitment, and the standard which, look at me, I had standard. We said standard, but very competitive. All right. And I mean, you say, listen to me, we set the tone, the way in Guadeloupe. All right. We were, we went to Guadeloupe and we, our club, and, we came back to Dominica with about 25 gold medals,
Yes, I remember the days of Hermin. In fact, that's where I think I first saw Hermin perform. Was in a meeting in Guadeloupe. Hermin Joseph,
I had this athlete here, Rosemary Balson.
Yes, Rosemary works very well.
Listen to me now, that's a hell of an athlete. All right, and we can go back. Look, I had this athlete also from the SMA. That's Lester Michel.
Lester, right.
That
and then you also had Lisa. You had Lisa as well, no? Lisa Casimir
from Convent.
Yeah.
Gold medalist in the javelin. All right, but
Lester was high jump, no?
No. In javelin.
Javelin. Okay.
Yeah. Another person today, as one female I will talk about today,
Dawn Williams. I know Don is your favorite. I mean, Don was absolutely world class, man. He's just, I mean, Don national talent.
Ninth overall, at the Olympic Games. Ninth overall.
I remember I was there. I saw her run in Atlanta in '96.
And it's because she was just petite running. She had to run out, She was
yes. In fact, I don't know. One of the things that happened was when she went on the back stretch, they actually elbowed her out of the way.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the lack of experience and so on. But she could have placed in the finals.
Look, we have had a lot of athletes. We have had a lot of athletes. We could have been big as Jamaica.
Yes, Emmanuel. Let's take the final call quickly. We are just about out of time, so we're going to take this final call. Good evening, caller. You have the final say. 1 minute.
Yes, Doc Asanas has played 17 test matches.
17 or 15?
17.
17. So you see, and we are on his back.
12 shots October. 12 shots October.
12.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for that. Thanks for that statistic. Yes. All right. So so the point is made. In fact, that's what I wanted to make. That sometimes we can be too tough on our athletes. And someone spoke earlier about even Hetmeyer. That was a guy who Western about almost wrote off,
Yeah.
And look at now, he's really playing his best cricket now, so
he has lost the weight.
Sometimes we need to be a bit patient with our young players. I find there are times we want to toss them out too quick, and the Capem Hodges, the Afanas and so on, sometimes just need to be patient. So I brought that in about Sagari because it was this week. It happened a few days ago, in 1958. It was February 26, I believe, 1958, when he made that special 365 not out. All right. We are out of time. And Emmanuel, we just want to say thank you to all those who contributed to tonight's program, and to our special guests. We want to say thank you. We'll be back next week with another edition of Sports Wrap. So on behalf of Emmanuel Loblack, Thompson Fontaine, and of course, next week, Lockhart Sebastian will be back with us. And let me say good night to all who were able to join us. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.